Hi, good evening. I'm Dr. Philip McMillan, and today I'm taking on an important point about politics and health. And I'll be raising awareness of what I think is an important point about politicians ignoring excess deaths. Now, I'm specifically making reference to the United Kingdom, but this is probably relevant across the world. And the reality is that maybe they're just hoping this issue goes away based on all the discussions I've been having with people like Gert van den Bosch, this is not going to go away. We are at the brink of what could be a very serious crisis. And so, what I'll be doing today is I'll be highlighting just a few simple points. One, about the MPs debate, which is going to be on the 16th of January, which is tomorrow, depending on when you're watching this, and also a few points with regards to their public health views in terms of the decision they made about vaccinating the population, and also the points about the decision itself. What were the characteristics that they changed with regards to legislation? So these are all important points that need to be understood when we're talking about the impact of decisions on the population. So there's no getting away from it for politicians. Before I start, however, with a little bit more interesting news, I'd like to highlight that coming up in another about 10 days will be a presentation on nitric oxide and COVID. All I can tell you is that this is a bit of research that I stumbled into and realized that this was really significant. And I think that the strategies that are involved around nitric oxide and highlighting the importance of nitric oxide are critical to understanding how we can protect health. And so, if you're interested in that webinar, please join us. There is going to be a link below that's on Thursday, the 25th of January. As usual, a proportion of the tickets are free. So only those who have come early will get them. Beyond that, it's donated tickets, and we appreciate any donations for the research and work that is being done. But even more interestingly, coming up again shortly in another few weeks is our Kickstarter campaign. And this is one that I've never done before. And in this is in conjunction with Lumentia Publishing, who is really to do with my brother's work. We've come together to create an idea, a story about humming heroes inside the nose that almost nobody knows. And so we've created this book that has taken the science and tried to put it in a context that makes sense, even to a child, that would help anybody to pick up the science and how it's relevant. So you can just come to that page and register for a free ebook. There'll be two ebooks that would be coming, and one of them is a little bit lower down. When I've finished the presentation, if you hadn't been able to see the webinar, you will get a free ebook that would be created by the publishers from the presentation. So, really exciting times where we're taking on the challenge of learning how to bring science in a way that everyone can participate, understand, and then take that knowledge into applying it into their daily lives. So, really appreciate the support. Look forward to you joining in what we're doing. So, let's get back to politicians and excess deaths. I'm just here trying to make a few simple points. So, again, let's go back to the primary issue that was raised by Andrew Bridgen. He put the Commons into a corner and managed to get an initial discussion in about, I think it was December 2023, and further pushing has caused them to have a full debate with regards to trends in excess deaths. This was made possible, and so this was on the 12th of January that it was put out, but this is on Tuesday the 16th of January, Westminster Hall. They'll hold a debate, and it's also live on Parliamentary TV. I think this occurred because of the Lancet paper that came out that showed a significant rise, almost an 8.6% rise in excess deaths compared to pre pandemic levels, which should not be ignored. And as I pointed out at the time, 22% increase in at home deaths is a definite red flag. The point is that, and I don't know how to explain this well, people think that because the virus is not killing people in the context of severe COVID 19, that it's harmless. Nothing could be further from the truth. We need to understand, one, how this interacts with the fact that we have done a very big campaign across the population with regards to my favorite concept, the elephant in the room. Now, this elephant in the room needs to be addressed. It's knocking chairs over, it's having an impact, and we need to understand how the elephant in the room interacting with ongoing infection could be a particular focus for that increase in excess deaths. A lot of people want to blame it on other things. I think that if we haven't addressed this elephant properly, we will not get any clear understanding as to what was happening and what can be done to mitigate where we are now. That's the problem. We need to look at the elephant. And that's where fundamentally the research has to go. And the work that needs to be done by the MPs is far more than just listening to a debate. They need to legislate, and this is the bit that I am pushing for. They need to legislate for autopsies. Without autopsies, there is no science. Without autopsies, where we are studying in detail the histological changes in people who have died, we will not understand, one, the disease, or two, the impact of the elephant in the room on people's health. We have to do this. There is no way around it. So it raises a question, and this is the bit that I think is very, very important. And I will be curious to see which politicians will come to this debate. Here we have, this was from December, 14th of December 2021. And they had a full debate at that time, volume 705. And you can see here, I've put all the links in, where if you were to scroll down, it showed you all the people who were speaking and pushing for vaccine mandates in the UK. And this was in the healthcare sector, back and forth. And that discussion is all there. And most importantly, it's not just the fact that they had a debate. At the end of the debate, they made a decision. And so when you look again at the end of the debate, if you scroll all the way to the bottom of that debate, you have this bit here that the Draft Health and Social Care Act, the Regulated Activities Amendment, Coronavirus Number 2 Regulations 2021, were laid before the House be approved. This was voted 385 yeses against 100 noes. I'll come back to this, who voted yes and who voted no. But what really were they debating at that time? So you can see here, this is the breakdown of that Health and Social Care Act 2008, the regulated activities. And in that, they were talking about the amendment of the regulation for Regulation 12 and amendment of Regulation 17. So, this is really the amendments that they were voting on at the time with regards to making a decision about what it is that needs to happen. And again, let's show you what that Amendment 12 was talking about. Here we have it in full. You can see here that what they were saying at that time, that they were requiring that people with nursing or personal care in a care home must secure that a person does not enter the premises unless they had satisfied a complete course of the doses of an authorized vaccine. So this is where the vaccine mandates came, and it did significant damage to the social care sector, because quite a number of people left the sector because they didn't want to be vaccinated for whatever reason, and they preferred to move on to other jobs. The system has never recovered from that. So this is in the context of the mandates. These decisions were made by politicians. Now, The reality is that I don't know if you are allowed to make decisions like that and ignore the outcomes. If that's the case, you need to bring that into medicine as well. I don't think doctors get away with that. And so I'm not sure if politicians should. So let's get back to the question of who voted yes or no. And here we have it. It's all there in public health in the it's there in the links, and you can see here all the all the members voting yes. There you have all the way down on the left here. That's a 385. And on the right, you have all the members who voted no. It's very clearly documented. So, my question is for those politicians who voted yes, are you interested in the fact that we're having excess deaths? Are you interested in answering thoroughly the question about whether or not this could be relevant to the elephant in the room? If you are not, why did you vote yes? Is it that you are just not interested in the science? Or is it not your problem? Now, some people may argue that this is a public health issue and public health should therefore raise the flag on it, quite possibly. But this is more about those people who have been voted in to act in the interest of their population, that if they are seeing something that is concerning, one would hope that they would act in such a way that it ensures that they are protecting their populations. So, this is really the question that we have in front of us. How many politicians are willing to continue to look at this, or will they turn a blind eye? Those people who do turn a blind eye may not have as much of an interest in the health of the population as they would pretend to, because no stone should be left unturned. Every avenue of investigation should be explored to ensure that there is nothing that has been done that caused harm, and critically, there are solutions and mitigating strategies if harm has been done. That's just where we are. Have a good evening.